What's going on, Scott Squad? We are back in the building. Yes, happy Monday to you all, okay? Now, y'all know we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine today, and I'm super excited. This episode last night was lit, okay? Before we rate the episode, we got to talk. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start by asking you guys to drop your location down in that good chatterization so that we can know where our people are watching from. Squad, where y'all at? Let's see. I want to highlight it in the building. Angel White, good morning from Shreveport. We got New York in the building. Oh, it's gloomy in Cali. Come on. Hey, California cutie. I see you, Jamaica. I see you, Brandon, Mississippi. Philly in the place to be. Who else we got up in this place? The Windy City, the Jersey Shore, Los Angeles, hey, Macon, Georgia, Brooklyn in the house, Windsor, Connecticut, Texas up in this thing. I see you. Oregon in the house, DMV, Largo, Maryland, ATL. Come on, Decatur, Georgia, Decatur's finest, Cape Town in the house. We got the 310 in the building, Canada, Germany. I see y'all. Come on now. Come on. H-Town. West Virginia in the place to be, y'all. Indianapolis. I see y'all. Woodlands, Texas. D.C. Byron, Georgia. Durham, North Carolina. I see all my people in the building. Okay, y'all ready? So, we're going to start with rating the episode. This is Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 14. We only got 2 more episodes left to go. 2 more episodes, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to give this episode a 10. I got to give it a 10. Let me bring my mic a little closer. I got to give it a 10, y'all. I got to give it a 10. 10s across the board. Come on now. Come on with the raterization, y'all. Come on with the raterization. Come on now. Come on. Give it to me. We got 10s. Come on. Oh, Sir Capricorn, I see you. 10. Yes. Amen. It was good last night, y'all. Okay? It was real good last night. Ooh. Now, M-Bays, you gave it a 4, okay? You got to tell us why, M-Bays. You got to tell us why. Nipsy gave it a 9. Come on, I see y'all. Hey. I don't want to see them in either, Stacy. Honestly, they brought it last night, and I felt like they did so with very little effort. Okay? It was just a return to form for Married to Medicine, and honestly, I was pleased. Now, we got to talk about the headlines, okay? The top 3 things going on in the episode last night, okay? Now, I want to know before we get into this, because we got to talk about Lisa Nicole Cloud and the curious case of these missing labs, okay? The curious case of these missing labs. Now, I wants to know, because I hadn't heard this, okay? Had any of you, specifically for you guys who lives down to the Georgia, okay, specifically the Atlanta area, had any of y'all seen this headline or this news clip that was making its round on the show last night? And you know what it was so funny about it? And you know, I don't relish in nobody's issues. Let me first say that. But it was just wild when the news clip came on and it was like, you know, MAJL, you know, whatever the case may be, led by this woman, okay? When the newscaster said led by this woman right here, okay? Taekwon Love, we're going to talk about it. I want y'all to remember Taekwon's comment right here. He says, I feel bad for Lisa Nicole because in NYC there were mad delays. Wasn't her fault, but Simone said get insurance. We're going to talk about this because we had a real in-depth conversation last night about it. And I got some updates on, you know, the situation as it sort of played out and where she might have went wrong. Okay. Ray D, thank you for the super chat. Says old school Dominique Dawes vibes last night. I'm assuming that's Devoe vibes last night. I love me some Heavily and I'm here for it all. Thank you, Ray D. Thank you. But it was so funny when they said, but led by this woman here, okay? I don't know. Listen, the situation, crazy to me. We're going to talk about, again, where I think Lisa Nicole went wrong. And I think she'd be coming from a good place, but her execution is something that always goes awry with it. Okay, the other situation that was really a headline from last night was what the heck is going on with Dr. Scott and Contessa. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get more in-depth into it throughout the episode as we talk about it. But I was curious last night, what in the mess was going on with Dr. Scott last night? What was going on? What was going on? Somebody tell me, okay? Somebody got to tell me. Because we got to talk about it, okay? And then the next thing that we got to talk about, y'all, is this. We had two kind of interesting moments. We're going to talk about Anila versus Toya. Yes, we are, okay? And whether or not we think Anila was overreacting, okay? And then we're going to talk about what the major shade that Toya threw at Quad last night. And it was, I actually wrote it down. I was like, this was a huge shade moment that Toya threw at Quad. And Heavenly tweeted this. Shout out to my friends over at the Married to Medicine source, because that's why I originally saw this. And then when I went to Dr. Heavenly's Twitter page, you know, I went down the rabbit hole because she tweet quite a bit, okay? She tweets quite a bit. But she said this. She says, so when Quad gets in Toya's butt, I don't want to hear ish. Not speaking on who's unemployed. Hashtag do better. Hashtag be best bit. And hashtag married to med. Okay. Now, Kandi, are we going to talk about that too? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We got to have a conversation about it. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Dr. Scott. Okay. So let's go ahead and skedaddle on into the episode, shall we? Let's get into it. Okay. We start off the episode with Anila going to visit Quad, okay? Quad makes her wait outside because, you know, that's what divas do, right? Anila has brought over about 1,000 yards of Indian hair. She didn't say if it was her hair. I don't know whose hair it was or why she brought it, but she brought over some Indian hair, okay? Now, what I wanted to know, Anila, was this your hair? Somebody you know hair? Or did you just get this from Dr. Heavenly's salon? I mean, her shop. I don't. Where did you get the weed from, and what was the purpose in it? Okay. They get into a discussion about whether Toya is jealous of Anila's 14,000 square foot home versus her 9,000 square foot home. Okay. Now, I think that this is a case. That was a case of petty Patricias. And I don't know Toya, so I don't know about her level of security or insecurity. I don't know. She doesn't come across as necessarily insecure as much as, and we'll get into what it is that I do think about her. But I just feel like the conversation about who has a bigger house between a 9,000 foot and a 14,000 square foot, those conversations are so foreign to me because when I look at my friends or I look at somebody else who is in the same space as me and they doing better than me, y'all know what we doing over here? We clapping for them. Because guess what? They blessings are their blessings. That's what God is bestowing upon them. That ain't got nothing to do with me. God got my blessings right here. So I'm happy to see the next person get blessed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't see Toya being jealous about the square footage of somebody's home at this point. I ain't really get that. Anyway, but they do talk about Toya not taking accountability, okay, and her not being self-aware. Now, I do agree with that part, okay? She don't take accountability all the time, and she's not that self-aware, at least when it comes to the ladies on this show, okay? Case in point, the way she was yelling and fussing at Lisa Nicole Cloud on her own IG Live when Lisa Nicole Cloud was just trying to set up her phone, okay? Y'all remember that. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, okay? But she did apologize later. Anyway, Quad wants Toya to apologize again, okay? And what I think about this is maybe she means on camera, because what she said was public. Toya has said on her live that she did apologize to Quad, but it was in private. So the same way she apologized to Lisa Nicole in the public, she needs to apologize to Quad in the public. So until that happens, Quad is not going to let it go that Toya called her house an apartment. And she's going to do so several more times in this episode, in case you miss it. Okay. So then we get Cecil, he getting home, and Simone said, I got something to tell you. Okay. I got something to tell you. Now, here is where we first get a look at the news reports concerning Lisa Nicole Cloud. Okay. Now, apparently, MAJL Diagnostics Lab, which is maybe either run by Lisa Nicole or in partnership with Lisa Nicole, whatever the case may be, the people allegedly got tested but never received their results, or they got tested and they didn't receive their results for months. Okay. Now, I had to turn around and ask Babe, because, you know, I had to ask the questions. How bad is this as a medical professional, you know, in his opinion? And he said, oh, it's pretty bad. It looks pretty bad. But we're going to follow up on this conversation. So stay tuned to what we said. We stay tuned to it, because it's not all bad, but it's kind of bad. But we'll get into it. So Simone knows that Dr. Heavenly is going to say, I told you so. Okay. NC Old School said, Buffy said, new money jingles. Okay. I saw that clip the other day. That tickled me so much when she said new money jingles and jangles. She said wealth whispers and new money jingles and jangles. NC Old School says Quad whining talking about homes, how others were approved, besides the petty new money combo. Next topic, please. Okay. So Heavenly at that point says she's going to remain silent on the issue, but not for long. Okay. While she's filming her confessional, she wants to call Dr. Jackie and Quad while Quad is out on a date. They decide to give Lisa Nicole time and space to explain her side of the situation. Okay. Now, here's the situation with Dr. Contessa, and we're going to have a real moment. Okay. I love me some Dr. Contessa, but we got to have a real moment. So she's on the phone with her life coach when Dr. Scott comes home. Now, he offers to leave the room. She says, no, it's all right. You can stay here. Okay. Now, the therapist talks about how Dr. Contessa does not like to whine or complain, or does not like to be perceived as whining or complaining or something. Okay. Now, Dr. Scott is in the background making funny faces and smart commentary. To me, this is the wrong road to take. Now, was it a little bit of a setup that Dr. Contessa told him to stay in the room? I believe yes. Okay, because I believe she wanted him to hear the process of her going through the therapy journey, and in hopes that it would entice him to want to come along on that journey. Okay, but his smart commentary was unproductive, unnecessary, and not funny. Okay, so let's call it like it was. It was unproductive, unnecessary, and not funny, while he claiming he joking. Okay, this is oftentimes a passive aggressive way for someone to diminish your feelings about something that they know that they said that was inflammatory. So be careful when people claim that they were joking and that you are being too sensitive about something. Okay. Jay says Dr. Scott and Contessa need serious help. The way it's looking is like he is cheating on her or doggone near close to it. The pics in his phone, crazy. Okay. Now, here's the next thing. He says that he's not trying to come home on a negative vibe. My question to you is, well, why are you creating a negative vibe? If you just sat there and you wanted to be positive, you would have just sat there, made yourself a snack, and came right on back, okay? But what you did was you stood there making faces at the camera, knowing good and doggone well you was creating a negative situation and a negative vibe, okay? So I just felt like, Dr. Scott, what's going on with you, sir? Okay. So then Contessa says, why did you get married? Okay. She wants to go there. He says that, and he ended up saying for this, I don't know how he answered the question, but he ends up saying, well, the same thing I told you to do. She says, get a life coach. Scott says, I've been talking to one, but I don't pay her. And apparently, he's been talking to her periodically. Now, if you are talking to a life coach and you are not paying them, you're talking to a friend, okay? You're talking to a friend, because a life coach, a therapist, or somebody else who is not doing this as a hobby is usually getting paid, okay? Black Royalty says, Heavenly calling Quad during a date was a funny scene, asking her, is it her first date and did she sleep with him already? Scott is cringy. Thank you, Black Royalty 88. Okay. We got another one from NC. Oh, so, okay. It says, I'm tired of contesting nothing Scott says or do seems right. Do you think it's for TV? We never saw issues the previous season. He should have left the room. I do agree he should have left the room. We're going to get into the aspect of whether I think it's for TV or not in just 1 second. Thank you for the super chat, though. You made some good points. Now, okay, again, you ain't talking to a therapist. You ain't talking to a life coach. You are talking to a friend, especially if this is for free, okay? And it's periodically, okay? Periodically, okay? So Dr. Contessa rightly asked, why you meet her? He said, I looked up on the internet. So you looked up this person on the internet. I want to know which site it was, okay? Was it freetherapy.com? Is that a site? Is it an app you can download? Okay, what was the site that you was on? Christian Mingle, do they have therapy over there? Okay, because that could be, that's the only place I could think that you might find some free therapy. Was it Craigslist? Where did you find this therapist? This life coach? Where? Instagram? Was it the Face place? The Facebook? Riddle me this. Where did you find this person on the internet that you suddenly would trust to tell your innermost, deepest thoughts to, and they're not charging you nothing? Okay? I just want to know. Somebody let me know. Okay? It didn't make no sense to me. It didn't make no sense to Dr. Contessa either. Okay? So she says that she feels like she's living with the Riddler, okay? And she is pleading for him to get connected to her. And he says, so we're going to turn this into an interrogation or a conversation. So as she continues to press the issue, he says, I'm not going to do this with you today. And he walks out the room. Now, let's break this part on down. Right. Camilla says, free must be making payments. Ooh. Now let me ask y'all this. Okay. I just wants to know. Now, this is my thought, and we was talking about it last night. If my spouse is telling me, okay, practically pleading with me, babe, I just want to feel connected to you. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, if you don't put down that potato that you slicing right now, throw on your shoes. We going out for drinks. We going out on a date. We going to get some dinner someplace, and we going to talk. We going to have some wine and conversation, okay? We going to spend some quality time. You can clear that up right then and there, especially if this is my spouse telling me I don't feel connected to you. We got to do something right then and there. Okay. Now, the only event in which I would feel a certain type of way, even if my spouse was saying that to me, is if in my mind, one of the other people have cheated or been cheated on and is resistant to making that connection. Okay. That's it. That's it. Well, Bedar, it's an interesting statement. You said you can't just go on a date with the kids at home. Easier said than done. It takes time. Well, actually, she got 2 extra people living in the house with her. Tell them it's an emergency situation. You got to do something. You got to put your marriage at a priority at a certain point in time. And you got to recognize that you got to do something. Okay? Now, let me address the reality of this situation. As I was watching the preview, I said, is this situation real? And I had to ask that because, again, we didn't see any of this building up over the course of the last few seasons. So it just felt very odd that all of a sudden this season is such a big issue. And the way they're editing it throughout the episodes just makes me suspicious. Not to mention, as you stated, K-Baby, they can call a babysitter, okay? And it does feel, as you stated, Rayani, I think I pronounced it right, Rayon. Let me know if I didn't, and I'm sorry if I didn't. Dr. Scott is mentally checked out. That's what it feels like. He is mentally checked out of the marriage, and it feels like Miss Charlene, he doesn't want to fix the marriage. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. So anyway, he walks out the scene and she just basically has to start over in her cooking and get her mental right. Okay. In my mind, I feel like there's something I'm still missing. Okay. I don't know what it is. Something I feel like has happened over the course of time. And I just don't know what it could be. Because he seems real resistant to her pleas of trying to work through the relationship. And then when you look on the Instagram, they look happy as clams. So I don't know what to think. I don't know what to, I don't know. I don't know. I love you, Dr. Contessa, though. I do, but I just don't know. Oh, maybe this is it. You know what? You're right. You are right. When she went to school, that was it. Right, Gwendolyn, he feels so cold to her and the way she is feeling. I hope he's not still holding it against her. And he could be. He could be. Resentment is a difficult thing to recover from. Okay. So anyway, let's head on over to the Our Vote Matters virtual town hall. Lisa Nicole is up in there running through the show. Okay. She running the show. Wait, hold on. Brandon says, you know, I got to stop on my boy. Brandon says Dr. Scott is 50 years old with young kids. He is... He said, Dr. Scott is tired. I don't think this is the life that he wanted. Ooh. Ashley, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Renea B says, Contessa used to annoy me, but her pain and frustration was clear this episode. She is pleading for her marriage, and it seems like he could care less. That's the way that it's coming across on the screen. Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, Renea B. That's the way it's coming across. Susie says, you need to be a life coach. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate you, but I'm still trying to get it together myself. You know what I'm saying? I need a life coach. I mean, just truth be told, you know what I'm saying? And it's always easy to point out these situations because we are viewing it as outsiders. Because y'all know a lot of us, we still got our own situations that we working through in life ourselves. So as we talk about these issues, it is not to condemn, but it is really to try to understand what we're seeing on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So I try to let that be known too as we go through these things, right? Now, we get to the town hall. Lisa Nicole is there running the girls. She is telling the girls what to do. She's getting the girls together. Simone advises, okay, yes, in that preview, oh, my bad. In that preview, Contessa's kids did tell her that daddy was talking to his girlfriend, his other girlfriend, or something like that. Vicky says she should have done better to his attention by showing him how much 20% of his salary would be for child support versus heels. And Vicky, you crazy, but you're right. Okay, you're right. Cheaper than child support. Get it? Okay, Lisa Nicole running the show. She running the girls. Simone tells her that they're going to handle the lab scandal after the event. I had to giggle at that. Okay, all the ladies start to arrive. Now, this is where Toya drops her shade bomb of the episode. Okay, so Quad is hosting a segment. Okay, Toya rolls up to Quad and says, oh, we got to address these. Charlotte says Contessa seems to make a lot of emotional decisions. He has done a lot to accommodate her and her desires, and she never seems satisfied. Ooh, Nene Ashley, thank you for that super chat. Okay, so Toya asks, oh, one more thing. Teresa, thank you so much. Says I enjoy your show. Scott is emotionally in relationship 7 months. Okay. Thank you for that super chat. Now, Toya asked Quad, has she practiced? Because she gonna be commentating and running a session. Okay. Quad says, I don't need to practice. I've done this for 3 years. So we get flashbacks of Quad doing the interviews on the Sister Circle. Toya in her confessional, Toya face-to-face looks stunned, okay? Toya in her confessional says maybe if she practiced a little more, then maybe she would still be employed. Oops. Did I say that out loud? I said, you know what? Now see, she didn't have to say that, okay? Now, here's the thing. Whether you like Quad or you don't like Quad, and I know these ladies can throw shade, and they do it. I mean, they throw it every which way. It don't matter. Everybody can get it on this show, right? But I did feel like in that situation, everybody was let go from that job because the show was canceled. It won't like she was fired, right? And as someone who is, I mean, if you work in the news entertainment industry, then you know at any point in time, stuff like this can happen. Shows can shut down on these networks and whatnot. So I just was like, I ain't really like that. Okay. Elmo919 says Toya should be a model so she has a job like Quad, since Toya is the only castmate without a job outside the show. Boom. Thank you for that super chat, boo. I don't know. I didn't like it. And I understand. Oh, MJ says, does Toya work? I don't think so. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Is Jamal coming? I don't know. Anyway, now while Quad's answer was a little bit smart, I just felt like Toya's response was, I mean, it was, she dropped a bomb in her confessional and she didn't say it to her face. So that's why I'm kind of like, ooh, that's going to come back to bite her in the butt. Trust and believe, okay? Anyway, the event does go fairly well. I mean, it seems like it was a well-run event. So kudos to Lisa Nicole for that, because, you know, she did everything and Simone probably barely did anything because Lisa Nicole had took over all the stuff, okay? So when they get to lunch or afternoon delight dinner, whatever you want to call it, okay? All the ladies sit down and Carrie gets the pot stirred up. Carrie comes in and stirs it up. This is why you need some good friends of the show, okay? Because they can stir it up. You know, that's what they're supposed to do. She says, I'm amazed that you're here, Lisa Nicole, with everything that you have going on, okay? Here it comes. Here come the bull. Here come the BS. Here comes the BS, okay? So here's the rub. Apparently, people were tested in June and then allegedly got them back in October, okay? Now, if you guys may remember last year, right? You remember last year at the height of the pandemic here in the United States. I cannot speak about any place else. I do know that, well, we'll get into it in a second. But this is apparently the situation. So Quad says, what the people got to do to get their results? They got to get it from the grave? It's not funny. It's not funny. But she said it, okay? So Quad asks, so you're not under investigation, okay? Lisa Nicole says no. So we'll start there. We'll say, thank God she's not under investigation. Whatever the case may be, you know, that's great. She's not under any type of federal investigation. Simone then basically tries to give Lisa Nicole some advice to avoid any type of malpractice issues in the future. Lisa tries to explain her position about the lab results. Now, here is, I'm going to come back to Lisa Nicole, trust and believe, because there's still more that I got to say about these lab results, but I want to go through it as I did it in my notes, okay? So then Simone announces that they are taking a ladies' trip to Jekyll Island, and it's not about healing, it's going to be about fun, okay? I don't know where Jekyll Island is, but I was trying to figure it out last night. If you know where Jekyll Island is, can you chime in the chatterization, okay, and let me know? Farrah, we're going to get to this in a second, okay? So y'all remember what Farrah has said right here, okay, y'all? Now, Dr. Contessa says, Dr. Scott can't come on this trip. And everybody's looking kind of crazy. Simone wants all the ladies to have their own rooms. Dr. Heavenly said it's because Quad likes to touch herself in the heat of the night, okay? Toya wants to stay home, and Simone says that when it matters, we are a sisterhood. And Toya says, really? Now, she says something else under her breath that they're going to show later in a flashback when she's having a conversation with Anila. So Simone, at the end of the dinner, I need y'all to answer me this question, okay? NCO school, Toya's comment was rude, shade, no harm. Quad saying she begged and stole to get her home is worse. Incriminating Quad dissed them for Sister Circle. Thank you for that super chat, boo. Okay. By ways of Savannah, Georgia, Richie. Okay, it's closer to Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Thank you. An island near Savannah, Georgia. Okay. Right, just with the kids. Oh, halfway between Savannah and Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate you. Now I need y'all I want y'all to answer me this question because we had a debate about this last night too. Anila is trying to leave. Simone approaches Anila, okay, and asks her to talk to Toya. As Anila says, I have tried to talk to Toya, and she attempts to show her some text messages. Simone says, stop the theatrics. Now, I didn't see no theatrics at that point. Did y'all? Or is it me? Because later on, Anila says, if I'm going to be gaslit, you're darn right I'm going to explode, okay? I felt like Simone was gaslighting her there. That's just my opinion, because I felt like Anila had not done anything but try to prove to her that she had tried to talk to Toya. But that was just me. I felt like, I was like, number one, Anila was trying to leave. She didn't bring this conversation up. Simone brought the conversation up and then told her to stop being theatrical. Stop being over the top. I didn't like it. That's just me. Okay, thank you. I didn't see it either. Exactly. I felt like she was right to say how she felt in that moment. Okay. So as we continue on, Toya ends up coming out and with Carrie, I think it was Carrie, and approaches Anila. Anila says, I don't want to talk with the group. So then Toya says something about she's not going to have the conversation because when she did and she was going into her explanation, at that point, Anila blows up and storms off. And Toya talks about her dramatic exit. So, okay. Black Royalty 88. No theatrics. Simone didn't let her get a word in or stay her side after stopping her from leaving. You're correct. She did storm off dramatically. Yes. Now, when Anila does storm off dramatically, Toya talks about her dramatic exit. But this is my thing. It's been 14 episodes, and about 12 to at least 13 of those episodes, Toya has stormed out of just about every single event in a dramatic fashion. So I don't understand why they were trying to make it seem like suddenly Anila is doing too much when she has had enough of them trying to make her feel a certain type of way. She wanted to have a conversation with Toya. She just didn't want to do it in front of all them. And so then when Anila does go to Dr. Jackie and Dr. Jackie says, well, you need to talk to her one-on-one, Anila says that I tried to do that. And Dr. Jackie said exactly what I've been thinking this whole time. Sometimes some friendships are here for a reason and a season. And when you realize that you are not getting what you feel like you need out of a relationship, you need to, at that point, let it go, Elsa. Just let it go. But I understand Anila wanting to still keep that friendship because Toya did bring her into the circle, allegedly. Okay. So in my mind, you know, when Simone turns to Toya and tells her you need to open up to people and you need to start saying how you really feel, what's on the inside, I did agree with Simone there. She was not gaslighting Toya. She was actually telling Toya the truth. And then they bring Quad into it, and it was just like you need to tell Quad to stop, you know, coming at you. You know what I'm saying? And you need to tell her your feelings have been hurt and you need to apologize. So after going around the mulberry bush between trying to talk to Quad, and Quad was like, at first, why I'm in this? But then she goes in about the house comment. And I'm like, girl, if you don't let this house, apartment, townhome comment go, you've already addressed it. How many more times do we need to address it? I guess as many times as it takes to get the apology that she finally gets from Toya, okay? And I'm like, thank God we can finally put this conversation to bed, okay? And finally we did. NC Old Schools also says, Toya's first job is domestic home care. No shame being a stay-at-home mom. Folks pay for nannies to raise kids, maids, clean, cook, tutors for the kids. I think that that's true, but I also think that as I just think it's wrong to clown someone for losing their occupation. I don't think that that's cool when it wasn't due to Quad's lack of journalistic skills or hosting skills. It was really due to the network choosing to end the show. That's what I feel like. So I feel like you are correct. Toya doesn't have to have a job because being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job. But you also shouldn't clown somebody else losing their employment, especially as in a single income home. MJ says Simone needs a storyline and Jackie is not it. Okay. Now, okay. Speaking of the scene with Dr. Jackie and Anila, really, Dr. Jackie was like, let me shut this conversation down about you and Toya because I don't really care about it. What's more important is my skincare line. Come look at it, okay? Let me show you what it is. Now, before we get to what I'm about to say, I want to acknowledge this. California Cutie says they keep saying they need to have a private convo. Toya is just going to lie to her face and treat her the same way. I don't like it. I mean, probably. Thank you, California Cutie. Did you guys notice on the episode that when Dr. Jackie was talking about her skincare line, they put up a whole QR code. Did you notice that? I said, I had to pause this TV for a second. Now, I didn't open up the QR code because I was just sitting there in shock trying to take my notes. But I ain't never seen, and I promise y'all, I am an obsessive Bravo watcher, okay? I'm an obsessive Bravo watcher, okay? I really am. I don't deny it. Not at all. Not ashamed. But I have never seen that before. Have y'all seen it before? I have never seen that. I have never seen that in my entire life. I said, now either, okay, now if you know you on some Queen Bee type ish, okay, I thought it was a commercial too. You know you want some Queen V type stuff, okay, when you get a QR code in the middle of a show, okay, in the middle of a show, and you was on Watch What Happens Live afterwards, okay? I said, now, ain't that something right there? Now, what I really wonder is, because you know on a lot of these shows, it's only been a few people that's been able to get this out of their contract, but that the network may get a percentage of whatever the profits from whatever you create while you are on the show. Now, I wonder if Dr. Jackie is in that number or not, okay? That's what I do wonder. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below, because I was like, Dr. Jackie, that was a boss move right there, okay? Black Royalty 88 says Toya doesn't cook or clean, so she's not a homemaker. Dr. Jackie is a hustler and always has to work when she knows there is going to be some mess. Boom. Thank you, Black Royalty 88. We got another one from Kim D. Hey, again, Toya is not a stay-at-home mom. She is a mom that stays at home. She has a nanny. Kim with this shade. She is a mom that stays at home. Ooh. Okay. Now, I was wondering, I said, are they getting a percentage of this? I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out. Because I was like, that's some boss stuff right there. I wonder how, never mind. I gotta ask it. I wonder how Dr. Simone feels when she sees something like that. And it's a natural curiosity, I would assume, because we've never seen it before. And they're both doctors, they're both OBGYNs, but I guess, Dr. Jackie is more on the enterprising level in terms of building out her brand in this specific arena. So maybe it's just that Dr. Simone is not interested in that. I don't know. I was just kind of wondering, like, as it came up on the screen, I was like, ooh, what's she think about that? Right, Adrian. Yep, that's the Bethany Frankel clause. She made $100 million, and Bravo was like, "Oh no, we getting a cut from that from now on." Allegedly. Okay. Anyway, the next day, the ladies are all packing. They meet up at Dr. Jackie's satellite office. They're already running 2.5 hours behind. Lisa Nicole comes driving up on the van. She's still in charge of the girls for some reason, as only a friend. This is why I said it earlier. I said Lisa Nicole needed to be definitely at that reunion. I don't know what they're going to talk about half the time if she's not there. And I feel like she is providing a lot of content for this season, just as much as Quad, to be quite honest with you. They could have both been cast members at this point. Anyway, she come driving up. They all get on board. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, boo. Appreciate you. Appreciate the love. Yes, God, we do. Okay, so they got to go pick up Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa, okay? It's already 7 p.m. They running behind. Dr. Heavenly says that the RV is old and unreliable like Dr. Heavenly, okay? I mean, like not like Dr. Dr. Heavenly says that the RV is old and unreliable like Lisa Nicole Cloud. So they start to play in a game on the bus. And the game is, what is your biggest fear? Okay. Lisa Nicole says that she feels like she is not a good judge of character and she doesn't trust people. Dr. Heavenly says, well, no, first Dr. Simone makes a smart comment. Okay. Then Dr. Heavenly says, well, it's really more about how you conduct business. The people don't trust you because you are not transparent with how you do business. Then Dr. Heavenly goes in about how Lisa Nicole was allegedly doing the panorama testing without equipment. Now, here's what the deal is with this situation. I had to do some research on this very topic. Now, I think that there are two issues going on here. I think that one issue is Lisa Nicole Cloud is doing third party. She's using a third party to do testing because she does not have the equipment. Okay. So there's that. Now, apparently, third party vendors are a common practice. So when you look at a third party vendor like a LabCorp or a Quest Diagnostics, these are good examples of this. I do not know if Lisa Nicole was using LabCorp or Quest Diagnostics. I don't know that, okay? That's a better question for her to answer. So whoever it could be, okay, I don't know, all right? There were, I believe, during the height of the pandemic here in the US, hospitals that were also using third-party vendors, okay? There were. Now, during the height of the pandemic here in the US, it was also common during the height of the pandemic here in the US for there to be several days of delay with getting results. It was not uncommon to hear about this. I said several days, not several weeks, not several months. That is where the issue really comes into play, not because she used a third party. It was because whatever third party that she was using wasn't providing her with the results until months down the road. Okay. Now that is a serious problem. Okay. Now, again, I don't know who she used. I don't know who the third party was. And I don't believe she said in the episode, and I didn't hear it in that news clip. Okay. But that's the real problem is several months. Now, here's what I think about Lisa Nicole in general. I think that Lisa Nicole has the spirit of the hustle. And what I mean by that is not that she's trying to hustle people. I think that she has the spirit of the I'm trying to do any and everything I can. And I'm throwing everything in everything I got in everything in the kitchen sink at it because I feel like I can do it. And a lot of us are like that. Okay. A lot of us are like that. But I also think that there are some failures in her execution at times that probably cause her more issues than not. Okay. So, and I also think that sometimes she makes bad decisions with how she chooses to do business as well. So I think that there's those two things that are going on. And what I have learned in life is that you cannot do everything. You may think you can do everything. You probably can technically do everything, but does that mean that you should do everything? No, it does not. Okay. No, it does not. And so now, because of this issue, and she is in a cast full of doctors' wives and husbands who are doctors, it makes her look crazy in this situation. Okay. That's how I see the situation. Quiet as it's kept, I would like to talk to her. And this is, it just in my mind, I have questions. That's what I should say. I have questions. Like, what would make you think you should do this? What scenario did you think, medical testing, that's something I should do alongside of you making the dresses for your shop and stuff like that? Again, it's okay to diversify, but you can't do everything. Especially something as serious as testing during the panorama. No. I feel like that's something that you really want to leave to the medical professionals. And I understand she is a doctor's wife. I don't know what Darren does. I cannot remember his specialty, but I'm just saying that I think that she has an entrepreneurial spirit, but in some situations, it would be best to leave it alone. Bottom line. So that's that. Anyway, the conversation between Lisa Nicole and Dr. Heavenly devolves very quickly. I mean, it goes all the way left. So much so that Lisa Nicole calls Dr. Heavenly a dumb bully AB, okay? And then she says to put Dr. Heavenly off her RV, okay? Dr. Heavenly says, I'll get off this RV. I can call Uber, okay? Now, let me say one more thing. I had previously stated, and I still believe, that there is nothing better than a Dr. Heavenly and a Mariah argument. But second to a Dr. Heavenly and a Mariah argument, I'll take a Dr. Heavenly and Lisa Nicole argument, because they go at it, and they go at it hardcore, okay? And I just be feeling like sometimes Dr. Heavenly be having her foot on Lisa's neck. And Lisa this season has been trying to have her foot on Dr. Heavenly's neck, okay? And so when you have two people who are determined to keep their foot on each other's neck and they're going to continue to get into it like this, it creates spontaneous combustible moments. And I love it. I was here for it last night. It gave me everything that I needed in terms of classic Married to Medicine. I still do wish that Mariah was in the house, but honestly, this gave me what I needed last night, and I was here for it, okay? I was here for all of it. It was good. Now, at the end of the episode, what you guys will notice is that we did get we got 2 episodes left. We never did get a mid-season trailer. I don't know if you guys peeped that. We didn't, okay? Thank you. Thank you, the Diva. Appreciate you. We never did get a mid-season trailer like I was waiting on. Typically, we get that around episode 11, 12, 13. We never did get that. What we got was this 2-episode teaser for the last 2 episodes. It looks like it's going to be fun. The men aren't there until the very end, it looks like. I can't really tell what's going on with that. Are the men just going to surprise them, or what's going to happen there? I don't really know. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed by that. That was the only thing I was disappointed about, was that we didn't get the mid-season trailer. But we're almost at the end now. I cannot believe the season is almost over. I feel like it's really just starting to get really, really, really good. The episode was bomb. And I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me on this. I know it's not our normal, Housewives of Potomac or Basketball Wives or Real Housewives of Atlanta. But, I have always been a fan of Married to Medicine. I love this show so much because I really love that they really get into it about marriage and stuff like that. And I appreciate each and every one of these cast members for what they bring to the show, because they all bring something uniquely different and entertaining. And you can't really say that about every cast that's out there right now in terms of the shows that that everybody's watching. And I just want to say, as long as we can keep these ladies on the air, let's do so. Let's support them however we can. Watch Dr. Heavenly's reviews, support the ladies on their lives and what they're doing and stuff like that, just so we can keep these going and keep having these fun conversations. With that being said, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. I would not, y'all make my day, and y'all make doing this so much more fun. And y'all know I like to have fun. So with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. And I love y'all if nobody else has told y'all that today.